and a very warm welcome to Empowered Leadership for Women. And I'm really pleased to welcome you to the first collaboration between ICL and NNB Consultancy Limited. So I am Nadia Baker of NNB Consultancy Limited, where we aim to help people in organisations to realise their full potential. And I'm thrilled to work with Steve Adams of Inspiring Cultures Limited, where they commit to unlocking the barriers to success through cultural transformation. And Steve and I have worked together in various guises over the last 15 years, and what inspires me to work with Steve and ICL is the alignment I see in our values, that we both really want to support people to succeed. And we both share a real down-to-earth attitude, both very driven to encourage people to develop, but in a very safe and supportive environment. And I think because of our experience, we share a commercial and really action-orientated outlook, and we believe in leaving our clients with an experience that leverages them to be able to take their next step successfully. And having led on many programs together before, I've had first-hand experience of Steve's advocacy for supporting those around him authentically, and so he seems like the natural choice. And for me, this program feels personally very important. I'll openly share that I've come from quite humble beginnings, and I've come from an environment where access to the social capital that might expedite your career was lacking for me, certainly in the very early days. And yet, over the years, I've been supported by the most inspiring women. And of course, men who've championed me and really empowered me to champion myself going forward. And they've done that for a number of things like mentoring, coaching, guidance, just ad hoc guidance, sponsorship to attend women in leadership programs, and unquestionable peer-to-peer support, people who are really backing me. And that's been exponentially beneficial for me. And over the course of my career, like many people, I've experienced imposter syndrome, and many will relate. And the constant juggling of motherhood with my career or family commitments, to balance further education with working full time and your family, and trying to find that perfect balance wheel of life, which I'm not sure actually exists. So for me, this is an opportunity to, in a more structured way, it feels exciting to be able to support other women with their careers too. And that's my personal why. Many of you will be familiar with Simon Sinek's concept of start with why. So we begin today just talking about and understanding why empowering women in leadership is so important. And a study by Dr. Daniel Amen of more than 40,000 brains proved perhaps what many already knew, and that is that men and women's brains work differently. The study found that women had greater blood flow in the prefrontal cortex compared to men. And their findings are said to explain why women tend to be stronger in the areas of perhaps empathy, intuition, collaboration, and showing appropriate concern. And if you can bring that into your leadership team, combined with the strengths of other people, then you can achieve a great potential within your organization. And if you needed further evidence, according to Baroness Berridge, who was the Minister for Women in the UK, companies in the top 25% for gender diversity on their executive teams are 25% more likely to have above average profitability. Sounding good, right? And a study conducted by the Boston Consulting Group in 2018, which spanned 171 companies, showed a significant correlation between gender diverse leadership teams and the increase that those organizations saw in innovation revenue. No brainer. Yet, we know that when thinking about applying for those leadership roles, men apply for a job when they meet 60% of the criteria, where a woman tend to only apply if they meet nearly all of the criteria on the list. And this is not for all, but in general behavioural styles, this is what we see. And that stat came originally from an internal report by Hewlett Packard. It's been further qualified by a number of other researchers, including Harvard Business Review. And what they found was that it wasn't the confidence to do the job that held them back. They kind of knew they could do the job and do it really well, but rather the perspective that they had on their skills and whether or not it was perfect enough. And then further research by the Institute of Learning and Management found that half of the female respondents reported self-doubts about their job performance, their careers and their capability, compared with less than a third of male respondents in the same survey. So there's this overarching doubt, further qualified by the Global Leadership Monitor just last year, whose research told us that women leaders are more likely to underestimate their potential. And organisations are full of intelligent and really capable women that can enable greater connection to your customer, can help improve employee engagement, and expedite the growth of your business. We just need to unlock the potential to get them into those roles. But the support I spoke of earlier around mentoring, coaching, etc., was invaluable for me and is invaluable for many women. And that's because against the backdrop, we've got other challenges. A survey by the CIPD indicated that 76% of women are leaving the workforce and they were citing caring responsibilities as a key reason for that. The UK Government Equalities Office in 2021 found that women are more likely to leave the workforce due to menopause-related symptoms, with 1 in 4 women considering leaving work as a result. And for many, let's remember, this can happen when they're in the real prime of their career, so much to give, but finding it difficult to manage in those environments. And findings by the Women and Equalities Committee in 2020 highlighted that a lack of career progression was also contributing to women just leaving the workforce. Now, we can't solve for all of those great things, but we do believe as a team that if we can support organisations and empower women to understand their skills, their capabilities, and enhance their confidence, that we can enable more women to take control of their career and unlock their potential. And so we're targeting the Empowered Women in Leadership course at women in management to senior manager positions with the potential to move into those more senior roles. And against the backdrop of why we think it's important, you'll notice we chose the word empowered leadership for women. And why empower? Well, because we want to enable women to focus on what is within their control, the decisions they can make, the things they can change. So empowering women, working together with organisations and supporting those participants to remember that they have the authority to own their own career and the decisions that they make based on what's right for them, and empowering them to be stronger and more confident and in control of their decisions. And we really believe that complete collaboration is the key to success, and empowering our participants is what will make us different. And we genuinely care about the longer term success of the programme, the participants, and your organisation. Delivering the workshop and leaving is not really what we're about. So we focus on, for your organisation, investment for you in your talented women, and where you can harness an environment where there's increased advocacy, you've got active mentoring and sponsorship in place, so women feel supported to feel like they can progress and take those chances in their career. And as a combination with ICL and NNB, I said earlier, we bring a really values-led approach. We want to deepen the relationships, both of us with the participants, with you and the organisation, but also deepening the relationships of people that they meet to try and enable a broader stakeholder network to develop that confidence and empowerment. And of course, we'll bring a level of safe challenge. We want to push participants outside of their comfort zone, but in a very safe environment, so they push themselves to realise their potential and take some of those chances in themselves. And most importantly here is the participants. We want these workshops and interactions to be value add. So we're very focused on the value exchange that will happen, the things they take away. And there's a high level of introspection as we work through the programme. It's about the journey that the participant takes rather than just the content. We're looking here to empower them to own their own career and provide guidance on developing their own ambition statement and have clear actions about how they're going to move forward. And at the start of the journey, we'll encourage sponsorship and mentoring to be in place so that participants have internal support from the organisation. And we'll ask our participants to complete a short introspective exercise so that they can track their progress throughout. And we do recognise that the end for us of the programme is just the beginning for you. So we leave our participants in a place where they've designed their own clear and actionable plan, that there's ongoing sponsorship and mentoring in place, and that there's guidance on how to continue to nurture talented women within your organisation. And the Empowered Women in Leadership course is aimed at women in management to senior manager positions, those who have the potential to progress but perhaps not yet the confidence. So when we were designing the content, we asked women in these exact types of positions what they would want and need from the programme. And we also reached out to organisations to ask them. We wanted to design with the user in mind. So we asked women what sort of topics would be useful. Is there anything else that they would find that would add real value? And if we were to deliver those, what would success look like for them as they walked away from the program? And they told us things like influence, the ability to have impact in a work environment, to develop their confidence and their own resilience, to develop networks, to understand how they can balance caring responsibilities with navigating their career, and like many of us, how to navigate their own imposter syndrome. And if they covered those and also walked away with an increased network, they had access to sponsorship, they understood some models and tools that might help them navigate their own path. They had open discussion and space to talk about the challenges. They'd feel like it was a value add type program. And if we did that, they'd walk away with increased self-confidence and belief, that they'd feel that they'd had inspirational career conversations that have given them a boost of morale and giving them a new focus. And for organisations, they'd feel like they had an increased diverse talent pool. So when we designed the programme, we took all of this into account. So spanning a 4-month period, our programme framework is split into 5 components. 3 workshops where we're focusing on influence and impact, confidence to be authentically you, and the third one where we're building resilience and supportive networks. And in each of these, we're tailoring them to make sure that they feel personable, that they're safe, but they deliver the right level of challenge to push our participants slightly out of their comfort zone and feel like they're moving forward. And where we work with the organisation, we'll encourage the setup of sponsorship and mentoring in the first instance. And this is to ensure you've got the support in your day-to-day environment to put your workshop learning into action. And we do know from personal experience that while workshops and sponsorship are good, time spent on the individual is really important because each individual will have their own story and their own experiences, their own barriers potentially. So beyond the group sessions, we've created space in the programme for 2 one-to-one coaching sessions for each participant with an executive coach. This is their opportunity for the women to delve into the more personal topics and then aiding them to enhance their ambition statement and have clarity on their next steps. And I said earlier that the end of the programme is just the beginning of you. So at each interaction, we're encouraging the participants to develop their individual statements. So as they walk away from the programme, they're not then thinking, I've gone back to my busy world. I'll put that off till tomorrow. They've got it in front of them and something they can start to act upon. And we were very thoughtful that access to other women who've taken similar journeys, who've succeeded but are really authentic, was what both our research told us was important and what we know we've personally benefited from. So we'll also have guest speakers along the way at the different workshops. These will be women from various different industries and role types, but with the right level of seniority to engage with the ladies and encourage them to build their network. Here we're trying to present really authentic women with real stories to inspire our women to feel empowered. So we've given a very quick overview of the programme, and we're really happy to talk through any next steps. What we're looking for, if you are interested in taking part in this programme, is just to message Steve or I. You can contact us directly. Details will be added below. Through LinkedIn, please feel free to directly message us, or also just follow us on LinkedIn, each of us, for further updates. We really look forward to hearing from you, and appreciate you taking the time to listen to the webinar. Thank you.